Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around. Hey, if you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. And if you haven't already, go check out our website at dfscheatsheet.com. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you already. So, hey, definitely, like I said, go check out the website, dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, we decided, we love NBA and, we are constantly researching NBA from, the night before all the way up until lock. And so, hey, you guys got to make sure that you subscribe to the channel, have the notifications turned on. So what we're going to do every day, Monday through Friday, is the night before we're going to start with our daily breakdown of the slate for the next day. So when you wake up in the morning, you grab some coffee, and hey, you can check out our video. You can listen to it. Don't even have to watch it, and you get your day started on some good spots that you want to target. And then in the morning time tomorrow sometime, we'll release our NBA picks video for the day. Some of our top 5 picks that we really like. And then, right before hour before tip off every day, we're going to have our NBA live video where we're going to be answering any questions that you have 1 hour before lock. If you're struggling between 2 different guys, hit us up, on the video, check us out, and, we'll help you answer those questions. Also, if you want our full player pool, you want to see our daily rankings of each position. We do also have, those tools in our premium section. Those are very helpful. But yeah, hey, make sure you check out the videos, have the notifications turned on. And man, hey, so today was a crazy slate today. To be honest, DK we cashed, cash and GPP we cashed on DraftKings. Fanduel we just missed with our cash line. There was a couple guys that, honestly, they were highly owned and they didn't work out. And today for me, that was the problem. The line was just so chalky. We had tons of guys that were highly owned and didn't really work out. Sometimes the chalk busts, sometimes the chalk works out. But when you're a cash game player, you definitely got to tend to still ride the chalk. That's just how it is. How'd you do today out there, Jeremy?
Smashed, absolutely smashed. Locked in a good core this morning. I actually gave the core away for free on our DFS cheat sheet YouTube channel. Video was on the website as well for free. The core smashed. There, like you said, there was some really chalky spots. Even in tournaments you couldn't pass up, like a Trey Burke. Didn't exactly work out. He probably finishes 5, 7, 8 points away from having a really, really stellar night. But I was locked in on Anthony Davis and James Harden. James Harden ended up getting the Drew Holiday treatment, so 51 points is what he got. But the core that I gave out for free today ended up putting up 212 points with those 5 players. So, 212 out of your core is exactly what you're looking for to have a chance to take something down. I think my top lineup was at 348, and the $33 367 I think was a winning lineup. So good night for me, man. Good night for me.
All right, cool. Yeah, as far as GPP, cash, minimum cash, and probably I would say about a third of the lineups. Got a little bit of money back. But, yeah, hey, it's DFS. Move on to tomorrow. Hey, we got 7 months, man. Hey, I'm so excited the NBA is back. I absolutely love it, bro. So tonight, or we'll say today, for Thursday, October 18th, we got 3 games. 3 games on the slate. You got the Miami Heat going in to Washington to face the Wizards. Washington is favored by 5 in this game, and it has a 212 implied total. So this game actually has the lowest implied total on the slate. You got the Bulls going into Philadelphia to face the 76ers. Philadelphia is favored by 11, so Vegas is expecting them to blow out this game. This game has a 215 implied total. And then you got the Lakers. This is the game that I've been waiting for the past couple of days, going into Portland to face the Trailblazers. Finally get to see LeBron, in an actual real game. For the Lakers, I'm super excited. This game actually has the highest implied total of 222 on the slate, so it's definitely going to be a game that you really want to target. Bro, one thing that really caught my eye right now was Portland's actually favored by 3.5 tomorrow. Did you see that? Hey, bro,
It's a home game.
I'm gonna tell you something. There is no way we are losing to Portland tomorrow. I'm being real with you, bro. There's no way. I don't understand that at all. But hey, it could come back to haunt me. I don't want to jinx us, but I don't think we're losing to Portland tomorrow, bro. The team's looking real good right now. LeBron's ready to go. He's going to play 37, 38 minutes. He's an absolute lock on this slate. Like me and you were talking before the slate, and you told me straight up, you can't have a lineup without LeBron. If you want to be that risky, you can, but the guy's just going to have a monster day tomorrow. Like I said, they're not going to lose to Portland, in my opinion. So before we jump into these individual games, you got anything that's really jumping out to you on this slate?
If you don't play LeBron tomorrow, you are saying that you're banking on him getting hurt or going 1 for 17 from the field. I don't. He's going to be so highly owned that I can't justify or even see how you don't just lock him in tomorrow in all formats. There's not enough. There's not enough places on the slate to go different, right? It's only a 3-game slate, so just lock LeBron in on everything you do. I can guarantee you, we're just getting into our research process. He will be in my GPP core tomorrow. I guarantee you, he'll be in our cash game lineup. There's no way you don't play him.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, hey, let's just jump into these games. But the way we're going to do this, bro, is we're going to start with the ugly games, and we're going to get to the juicy one last. You feel me? So, that first game that we're going to start with is going to be Miami going into Washington to face the Wizards. Like I said, the Wizards are favored by 5, 212 implied total. One thing I will note before we really even jump in to this game is Miami actually played today, so this is their second game, second in of a back-to-back. That's something that you always want to, consider whenever you're thinking about a game. So, what side? You can take whatever side you want, bro, and I'll pick up the other side.
I like this game for tournaments because it's not on TNT. It's the one game that's not on TNT. I think John Wall has a really good game. I guess if you want to get creative, John Wall could be, if you want to try and stack this game up a little bit, maybe with the other early game. One thing that I think we should talk about real quick is we're seeing really early that there's definitely some strategy that goes into this drop your lowest score.
Right.
And one thing that you and I were talking about, we were texting back and forth during the last 2 games of the night that were on the late games, was I kind of feel like what you do is you take that value play. There's 2 things. One, just build your lineup as it is, because I had lineups tonight that had Dwight Powell, and I think he had 28 points, and he was my throwaway score at 28 points. So, one way is just build your lineups the way you're going to build your lineups. I wasn't targeting Dwight Powell tonight because I thought he was a pump play. I was targeting Dwight Powell because I liked him coming off the bench. I've always liked this guy's athleticism, and I thought that he'd really be able to run up and down the floor and be really low owned as well. So, you look at that, 28 points in my Dwight Powell lineups, and he's the throwaway score. So one way is just build your lineups the way you're going to build your lineups. And then the second way is the thing we talked about was if you notice and watch your lineups, especially yesterday with the 2-game slate, and then now today we have I guess we should say opening night, the 2-game slate, right? And then you look at this slate with 3 games, stacking up teams is something you can get into, whether it's 3-3 and 2 off, or 3-3, 2, 3-3, whatever you want to do. If you don't, like, look at Markelle Fultz. He was so highly owned, but he was relevant until somebody else got 11.7 points, and then those lineups started to increase, and then people started to move up the board. I had a lot of lineups tonight with Harrell in them, and some lineups never moved because, like I say, I had 28 points in Dwight Powell and some of those lineups. So you have to. I think if you're gonna do the pump play, it has to be from an early game, and then you have to have at least one guy who's going to get you 10, 15 easy points. So like one way to look at that would be in this game, if you wanted to punt with like Austin Rivers at 4,000, or if you wanted to punt with a Rodney Magruder who's starting for Miami at 3,500, and then have a Dame Lillard in your lineup in the evening to knock his score right off the book, so your lines start to move up. I know it's kind of a long like dissertation into it, but we've seen in the first two slates there's strategy that's going to go into this drop your lowest score deal.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, every year for me, it feels like there's something they try to do something different with NBA than just give us late swap. You know what I mean? Every year, it's something they're trying to do. So, like I always tell, I've been telling my members for the past couple of years, and when it comes to NBA, the first couple of weeks, you kind of want to let things fill out, let teams get 2 or 3, 4 games into the season. Then you can start seeing what the rotations are looking like. Who's actually going to play, what amount of minutes, how many shots these guys are going to actually get. Today it's like, we kind of went in blindside a little bit. We knew some guys, obviously like the obvious guys, they're going to get theirs. But, the secondary guys, you got the coaches trying to try new rotations. One guy that really surprised me today was when Kelly Olynyk wasn't starting. I thought he for sure was starting today, and I was constructing my lineup around him. I had him in my core, and I definitely thought he was going to be starting. And then he wasn't starting. It kind of threw me off a little bit because I kind of already had that him spotted in there for cash games. So, yeah, a couple games into the season, we'll definitely start getting more information of how coaches want to handle this season with their rotations, etc. But, yeah, so for me, looking on the Miami side of things, Whiteside, I liked him a lot yesterday. His price went up a little bit, 600. It's still not too bad. I definitely think that he's a solid play. He is on the second end of a back-to-back. That's the only thing that really does worry me about these Miami guys. But, I mean, it's a back-to-back to start the season. It's not like we're halfway through the season already. So I like Whiteside. I like Dragic. Richardson. Richardson had a really solid game today. He's a guy that I always like. 6,900, very fair price tag. So yeah, I mean, he's somebody that you can look at. So today, he played 38 minutes. They lost, but he scored 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. So he's definitely filling up the stat sheet. And then, once again, I'm looking and I see, Olynyk, projected in the lineups, and I think that he should be starting today. They didn't do it, but I definitely like Olynyk. 6,100. The price tag did go up for me. He's more of a GPP play now. And then you mentioned him quickly, Roddy Magruder, 3,500. He's minimum price. We got to find some of those minimum price guys we're going to punt that, we hope can actually do a little bit. Because, one thing about, even if, I'm going to be honest, I've had about 9 to 10 people message me. So what's your new strategy with the Fanduel? What's your new strategy? So I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest. But what pretty much everybody is saying is they're just going to put their best 8 people that they can absolutely get and then try to find their best $3,500 player that's available at that position they're trying to punt. This way, sometimes guys do bust. They have bad nights. It happens. Everybody's human in fantasy. You know what I mean? They're not just, robots. So, they have bad games. And so, yeah, hey.
That's kind of what I'm saying. But on a full slate, you can't have a guy – I don't think your value play can be late. I don't think that's the one thing I don't think it can be. I think that value play has to be early. And Harrell's a great example. So, I'll just give you an example. I'm sitting at like 311 points or something like that with Harrell to go. And he ended up being the lowest score in the lineup, so he never counted in that top lineup. So I think you want the value play to be early, and then if you're gonna have somebody to go, it needs to be somebody who can surpass whatever that value play puts up, even if he goes 6x. So if you play a $3,500 guy and he goes 6x and gets you 19, 20 points, you need somebody that who can surpass him and make his score, that $3,500 player score, not count and be the one that's not calculated in the equation, so your lineup can start to move up the board, if that makes sense.
Yeah, see, for me, I don't know if it has to be early or late. It's like if the people are gonna get that amount of points, they're gonna get that amount of points regardless of what time they play. For me, I mean, I don't know if that matters, but I just think you definitely, because I've seen today, I was looking, and you have guys that are just playing the cheapest guy possible that doesn't even is not even gonna get a minute. You know what I mean? So I think you should at least try to find a guy
That's
that.
stupid. I think that's stupid. That right there, I think is dumb.
What I'm saying is even if you're trying to say punt one guy and you have to punt a guy, you know what I mean? And say minimum price is 3,500, but you have an excellent minimum price guy that's say 3,700 or 3,800. It's still very close to minimum price. So I think you try to punt with somebody like that, even if you have to spend a couple more hundred and figure it out, because at least those guys are getting opportunity. And, you know, we've played guys that were 35, 3,600 before, and they got us 35 fantasy points, 10x. So what if one of your other guys that you picked in your 8 core bust? That cheap guy has a legit chance to cover one of your other players. Is that, you get what I'm saying?
I'm agreeing with you, but what I'm saying is that the scenario I'm giving you is tonight, right? So my throwaway score, I'll pull the lineup up actually, and I can get into it a little bit more later. But my throwaway score ended up being Harrell, right? He was my throwaway score. So my lineup that went, I believe, was at 319. So it's at 319. I got Harrell to go, and this is in a bigger tournament. So Harrell needed to get like 24 points before he became relevant. So I'm asking a guy at 3,500 or 3,800 to go 8x on any given night. You know, that's a lot, right? 6x is what we're looking for. So I need him to go 8x before my lineup will ever move again, because I have somebody left to go, but until he eliminates another player, my lineup's not going to move because his score is not counting. His score is my throwaway score. Right. So my point is that if you're gonna use a pump play, and even if it's a guy who is $3,800 who's in a very good spot, I think that pump play, you want that throwaway score to be early with somebody who's going late who can easily surpass from a usage standpoint. You know, you want to. I think that it puts an emphasis on the late hammer even more. That's what I think, because you can't, like, tonight was the eye-opening thing to me was that on any given night, if I'm sitting that close to the top score and I have a guy, even if it's one guy left to go, I'm excited about it. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, this dude has to literally give me like 24 points before my lineup's ever going to move up the board. Right. And he never got 24 points. He ended up with 19. So that lineup never moved.
Right. So let's get we could talk about this all night. We'll get back on track a little bit. So I mean, for the Miami side, I think, Whiteside, Richardson, Dragic, Magruder's a good value play. He's gonna start, play some minutes. Olenek, if he cracks that lineup. What do you think? What do you think about a guy D Wade? 4,800 is a very fair price tag for him. I also like. One more guy I like is you can look at a Tyler Johnson. If he's back, the coach has shown that he likes playing him big minutes. 3,800. If Tyler Johnson was going to play 30 minutes, 29 minutes at 3,800 price tag, he would be one of the most best, 3,800 pump plays that you could use on this slate. You know what I mean? Hey,
especially with the injuries too, and the guys that are already ruled out, right? So with a Justice Winslow out, with a Dion Waiters out, Wayne Ellington's out, automatically you're looking right at a guy like Tyler Johnson. You see his price tag at $3,800. I think he's a very popular play tomorrow on a 3-game slate. I was surprised with the minute total tonight. The production, I should say, he got 23 minutes. He just only scored 7 points, got 1 steal. There wasn't a lot of production there. Maybe that keeps the ownership low tomorrow. People look elsewhere. But, $3,800 for Tyler Johnson with all those injuries, very fair price. as far as Dwayne Wade goes, looking at today, 26 minutes, old legs, going on a back-to-back. It feels a little bit like a trap to me. 9 points, 11 rebounds, 21.2 fantasy points. 26 minutes though, so I'm not sure. I mean, hey, just like for us, realizing that this is a marathon as far as daily fantasy goes, this is a marathon season. Miami's got a lot of talent around this team. They're definitely capable of making the playoffs. The East is wide open, really, outside of clearly the Celtics are the favorite. So, how much run he gets on a back-to-back remains to be seen. A guy I like, though, is Bam. I do like going – I look looking at Bam tomorrow at 4,300. Played off the bench tonight. Again, it's Hassan Whiteside on a back-to-back. I kind of have a rule with Whiteside. I don't like to play him on the road. His home road splits. He seems to get in way more foul trouble on the road than he does at home. Loved him tonight. I don't know how much I like this spot for him, but I do like this game. I like the Washington side of this game. For me, it's the regular cast of characters with John Wall, Bradley Beal. You can even look at Otto Porter and Kelly Oubre. Dwight Howard now projected as questionable. I don't think Dwight Howard's relevant in this one. And then, take a look at the roster. It's probably why I like Bam Adebayo a little bit more as well tomorrow because, Jan Mahimi, maybe another guy you look at as a pump play at 3,500 in this one because let's see what happens with Dwight Howard. But Thomas Bryant's the other center on that roster, I believe, at 3,500. I don't know anything about Thomas Bryant, but I do know that Jan Mahamini has been a solid play. He's won people tournaments before. And that's really it, man. I mean, I do like the game. I think there's spots to pick and play in this game because it's not the TNT game. It'll go overlooked. It's not exciting. You got Miami on a back-to-back. That's really where I'm at with this one.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm just going to brush through it. Washington side, obviously, you got to like John Wall, Bradley Beal for me. I really like Otto Porter, 6,400, fair price tag. And then, I'm not really going to be having too many other guys from this team on my radar. Possibly, you can look at Austin Rivers for 4,000 or a Jeff Green if you think he's going to get minutes for 3,600. Both of those guys have shown us in the past that they can definitely put us on solid fantasy numbers when they get some minutes. So we'll move on to the next game. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Chicago Bulls going into Philadelphia to face the Sixers. The Sixers are expected to actually blow out the Bulls in this game. The Bulls are not bad, not too bad. They're not like a crazy good team, but they're not a horrible team. They have some good players. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is going to be a blowout. What is your first thing before we get into the players about this game? What's your kind of first thought?
Zach LaVine, my first thought.
Right.
My first thought is Zach LaVine, and I'll tell you why. He's healthy. This guy, before even going to Chicago, we know all about him in dunk contests, jumping out of buildings, his time in Minnesota. This guy's a scorer. He's a natural scorer of the basketball. He has no problem putting the ball up. He has no problem taking as many shots as possible. The other thing that pops out to me is Justin Holiday going to start, and Jabari Parker is listed as small forward. He's no longer a power forward, and Jabari Parker's coming off the bench. So those are kind of the things that stick out to me with this one. I get that they're supposed to blow him out. I think that on the flip side of it, Markelle Fultz let everybody down, and that sticks out to me. The thing is if that was a normal slate, let's say that Philadelphia wasn't on the opening slate. Let's say they were on the Wednesday slate. Markelle Fultz doesn't draw nearly, probably not even a third of the ownership he got. I think it was 51% owned in tournaments.
It's a two slate, so that's what happens.
Right. So he like let the masses down on Tuesday night. So I look for him to be super low owned. He didn't have that bad of a game. He had a really bad first half. He didn't have that bad of a game. So it'll be interesting to see what his ownership is, but that sticks out to me too because the $5,700 price tag. He went 2 for 7. It didn't really fill the stat sheet up. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. But the 11.6 points really, he was a throwaway scorer in many lineups. Tell you that right now. That's really the thing that sticks out to me. And then I don't know if you can pay up for Embiid tomorrow. The opening slate, I was really sold that was the guy you had to pay up for was Embiid. I think the last thing that sticks out is on the Chicago side. I think that the name recognition of Bobby Portis and him starting, he should be fairly popular tomorrow. But Wendell Carter Jr. is also starting. And, Jabari Parker's coming off the bench. Robin Lopez coming off the bench. I like Bobby Portis a lot as a player. I like Bobby Portis a lot more coming off the bench when he's not competing for touches. I like in tournaments Wendell Carter Jr. a little bit tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so for me, you definitely touched on a lot of things that, honestly, that I'm thinking the exact same thing on a lot of things that you were talking about in this game. I actually like Chris Dunn, 7,000, very fair price tag. When he plays minutes, he's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. He's a good defensive player. He gets some steals as well. Zach LaVine, cash game tomorrow. He's going to be crazy owned. You might as well just lock him in. Same thing with Portis, to be honest, 5,700. Portis is a guy. He takes care of business when he gets the opportunity, and he's gonna. Who do you think is gonna be more on, Portis or Zach LaVine tomorrow?
Portis.
Portis. I'm thinking Portis too, because that's what I'm saying. Cash game wise, I like both of those guys. Justin Holiday, if he's gonna start at a 4,500 price tag, great play. I actually like Parker too. I think Parker's going to go a little bit lower owned than he should just because he's coming off the bench. 6,200. He's still projected to get, 28, 29 minutes in this game. So I definitely think that you can look at him. Another guy you can look at, somebody actually asked us, in the chat underneath, if you could look at Cameron Payne. I think Cameron Payne is somebody that you could consider. It's all about minutes with him. If he's going to get, we'll say 22 to 24 minutes, I would say, then, at a 4,000 price tag, I definitely think you could go that route. But if he's only going to get 10, 15 minutes, then – you have to think about, I don't know, if you could play him. It's all about minutes. And tomorrow's going to be tough because it's their first game. We haven't seen, what they're going to do. But if you have an insider, somebody he's going to get the minutes, then I think he's a good pump play.
I think with Cameron Payne, as far as the pump play goes, not tomorrow night.
No. Well, I just want to see how many minutes he even gets in the general vicinity. You know what I mean?
Look, Zach LaVine, natural position, point guard. Everybody begged for Zach LaVine, for Tom Thibodeau to play Zach LaVine at the point guard when he was in Minnesota. He gets traded to the Bulls. You don't know what's going to happen with him. He has the injury, has the surgery, he comes back. He kind of just fills in a spot, right? So they've got him as a shooting guard. Justin Holiday, he's also a shooting guard who can handle the basketball. And then you've got Chris Dunn who can handle the basketball. So there's a lot of usage that's going to get eaten up there. You don't know what the rotation looks like and who they're going to have on the floor with Cameron Payne that has ball handling ability. So I would venture to say that he'll come off the bench. He'll be the backup point guard. I would look for him to play between 15 and 19 minutes and probably not any more than that. The guy can shoot. He can absolutely shoot. I just don't know if the touches are there. And compare it. Right? Who do you trust more as a pump play? Kind of looking at the strategy we're talking about, right? Like the best, you want to put the best overall pump play you can put out there because on any given night, we've seen these guys go for 10x. $3,800 for Tyler Johnson. I like the Tyler. I trust Tyler Johnson off a back-to-back with some of those older Heat players to play bigger minutes than Cameron Payne off the bench tomorrow night. That's just my take on that.
Hey, bro. So really quick, you know how we're comparing Tyler Johnson and we're comparing Cameron Payne?
Yeah.
Right. So tell me why this past summer I actually was at a party with both of them, bro. I was sitting down next to Tyler Johnson. We were just talking sports, bro. I got an actual video of me taking a shot with Cameron Payne, bro. Boom, taking back shots with Cameron Payne, bro. Hey, so it's hella funny that you started comparing those two guys because I was partying with them this past summer, bro. It was wild.
I
So
remember you texted me the picture, and I was like, "Is that Alfred Payton or is that Cameron Payne?" I can't tell because his hair got crazy, huh?
bro. It was a good time. So yeah, on the Philadelphia side, I like Sarek. He busted on a lot of people, so I think that he's gonna people are gonna shy away from him. That's what a lot of the rookie DFS players do. I'm gonna go right back to the well. He got in foul trouble. Sometimes people just get in foul trouble. It's the first game, for a couple games they want to be on the floor. They're pumped up. So I like Sark. I'm gonna go back to the well right there. Ben Simmons and Embiid. They're both, pretty much the exact same price. I honestly think that Ben Simmons is going to be the guy that if you're going to pay up for one of these two, I think you would go with Ben Simmons. I mean, the guy was getting massive rebounds like crazy. He had like 9 rebounds in the first half the other day. You know what I mean? And so for me, Simmons is the guy if I was going to pay up between Embiid and Simmons. But I mean, both of them are definitely viable options. But like we talked about earlier, LeBron, you're going to want him in your lineups. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. You can,
Yeah, on the largest slate, right? Easily, easily today, Harden and Anthony Davis, you could fit them. I think you can easily fit 2 of these guys, maybe even 3 of these guys in tomorrow in tournament lineups. To me, I look at the Philadelphia side. I understand, what you're saying with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. For me, I'm going to save the $200 and I'm going to go Joel Embiid all day in this one over Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons goes over-owned because of the game he just had, but you have to pay attention to a couple of details. Who in the blue hell is going to play the post and defend Joel Embiid on this Chicago Bulls roster?
yeah,
They
I
don't
mean,
have anybody.
that's a good point.
They have nobody who can play with Joel Embiid tomorrow in the post. This dude's going to dominate this game.
Okay. It's a good point. I mean, I understand that for sure. I mean, who's playing center? Portis, right?
They have right now listed as their center tomorrow. They don't have a center listed in their starting lineup. They have a point guard, a shooting guard, 2 shooting guards, and 2 power forwards. So one thing too, you look at Wendell Carter. Wendell Carter, he's 6'10". He's like a Brandon Ingram. He's like a wing player. He's a hybrid 3-4 player. Very explosive player, very capable player. He's a 7th overall pick out of Duke, but he's not going to get in the post and bang with Joel Embiid. They don't have a player on their team outside of Robin Lopez who's not starting and is going to come off the bench. They may not even be on the floor at the same time. Maybe they overlap a couple minutes in each quarter, but I don't see how anybody slows him down. And I think all the ownership in this one sticks with Ben Simmons simply because of the monster game he put up on Tuesday night.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's a really it's a really good way to look at it. I mean, Chicago is small for sure, and so yeah, no, I definitely like that. So I mean, the only other guy I think we'll possibly look at GPP wise maybe is JJ Redick, 5,400. I don't really like what they got going on with this Markelle Fultz and JJ Redick thing. I think honestly, JJ Redick should be their shooting guard. Last year when they have their regular starting lineup now, but you take out Fultz and you put JJ Redick, this is the lineup that they went on like a 16-game win streak with. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, why are they tinkering with that shit? It doesn't make no sense at all. But
you know what though? If you look, there's a very interesting stat, right? So if you look at what Redick averaged last year, he averaged 30.2 minutes per game. He played 29 minutes Tuesday night. So I get what you're saying with him coming off the bench and all of that in the first half and the whole Fultz situation, but he still played 29 minutes, really 1 minute short of what he averaged in the entire season last year.
Yeah. Well, see, but what I'm saying though is I understand he played close to the same minutes, but he's coming off the bench when the starters are on the bench, and the group as a whole played very, very well together. You know what I mean? So even though he is playing the same amount of minutes, he's playing with a bunch of backups. He's not getting those same wide open shots that when he's on the floor with the Ben Simmons, with the and Joel Embiid. You know, they're getting a lot of attention, so he's getting wide open kickouts all day. You know what I mean, though? Like that's the way, kind of like how I like.
See, I look at it like this. I think what they're looking at is kind of the same thing that I'm looking at. You look at who he's going to play with, right? So he'll play with the TJ McConnell, right? McConnell played 22 minutes. So he'll play the TJ McConnell. He'll probably get some run with Covington in there as well. Covington kind of comes out early in the first quarter and then comes back in with that rotation. And then, you know, you're looking at him playing with maybe some Amir Johnson. Amir Johnson only gets about 11 to 15 minutes a game, but they're those rotational minutes, right? So my point being is that McConnell's a guy who likes to drive and kick, and Ben Simmons likes to play pick and roll basketball. So I don't mind so much. I think when Simmons is in the game, him and Embiid are going to play a lot of pick and roll game, and when he'll benefit from it in the second half because they'll collapse the defense on Embiid in that pick and roll game, and Embiid can now kick out to Redick in the second half. But I think coming in early, they'll look to get Redick going and look to get – McConnell definitely will. He'll look to get him going and dish him the basketball, run the floor, try and get him going. And Redick's really good coming off picks. He's extremely good coming off picks and knocking down that shot at the elbow. So I don't know. I'm sold on it right now because I think the minutes are there, and I think the rotation he's with is decent, and he'll be in there to close games out as well. So I think his price is fair. I'll just say that. For the minutes, the opportunity, I think his price is fair.
All right. So, hey, now we spent enough time on that game. Let's move on to the final game of the day, the one that everybody's going to be waiting to watch. You got LeBron making his debut in Portland, first game of the season for the Lakers. Like we talked about earlier, Portland's actually favored in this game by 3.5. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that wants to make some bets, hey, send me some messages. I got money on the Lakers. They're going to take this game. I don't understand why Vegas has Portland favored by 3.5. But, yeah, man, I'm ready to get into the game. So, you know, if you want, you could kind of just start off a little bit and I'll jump in and we could kind of get going on the game of the night.
I'm surprised you're not going to bed in your LeBron jersey, bro. I really am. I thought we'd be doing this video. It's late.
Hey, so this is what we're going to do, man. You can handle the Portland side, and I'm going to handle my team, all right?
Hey, bro, don't even – hey, how you going to just – you're just going to toss me Portland like I give two squirts of monkey prints about Portland, man. I've been to every Laker parade. I've been in the whole thing, man. I live in L.A. for freaking 15 years. Come on, man. Right. I probably have like 106 pairs of Kobe shoes. No,
right. Like we said at the very beginning of the video, all right, you get LeBron in your lineup tomorrow. I mean, that's it. 11-7, you get him in your lineup. And if you have to miss out on an Embiid or a Simmons or somebody, then you miss out because you need to have LeBron in your lineup tomorrow. He's going to go wild, especially, you know, you think that he doesn't see that they're not favored tomorrow? We're not going to lose this game against Portland. I mean,
well, I don't know if you saw the Instagram video he put out where they were down by 3. They were down by 3. In the practice, the scrimmage they did at practice yesterday, they were down by 3, and LeBron hit a 3. Everybody's pissed off. Yada yada yada. I don't know if that's too much of a coincidence, but. Hey, I love Damian Lillard in this game. Rajon Rondo's not a great defender. I don't think that Lonzo Ball's a great defender yet. I love Damian Lillard a lot. You could play Nurkic. Evan Turner's a good play in this one just because of where he's going to be at in the bench. A guy that Portland has on their team that can just score the basketball and knock it down from downtown is a guy. He fills a role that they tried to have Myers Leonard fill for years, which was this Myers Leonard and other players for years, were to have a guy come off the bench who can knock down threes from the perimeter, and they have Seth Curry. Seth Curry looks to be healthy. The guy can score the basketball. This guy's been a $6,000 player before. $3,900 guard. That list of people, when you start talking about a Cameron Payne at $4,000, I would much rather play Seth Curry late in this one at 3,900 if I was going to go cheap because he should get run. He's listed as the backup point guard. Lillard's going to play monster minutes in it, no doubt. Lillard will play monster minutes, but Seth Curry can score the basketball. Looking at who he's going to be playing against, it's an up and down the floor team. You got Michael B. Stevens, Josh Hart. Those guys are the guys coming off the bench. I like Seth at $3,900 in this one. I think he's a really good tournament play. Amino's always relevant because of his ability to rebound the basketball, but they kind of struggle with the rotation outside of McCollum and Lillard, right? I mean, you can't really count Portland. It's hard to count on minutes from the other team because they do some stupid stuff. I mean, Aminu and Harkless, those guys can have great first halves, get you 18, 19, 20 fantasy points, and then you don't see them until like 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So
you're not lying about that one. That's for sure.
We've had tournament lineups that are like Harkless is going or Amino's going, and they go off in the first half, and then they're gone.
Right.
Don't see them.
Yeah, no.
But Seth Curry's a guy, a backup point guard spot. I really think that he has an opportunity to have a really good night. He can knock the three down. It's a guy they've always kind of looked for. Myers Leonard was not going to be that guy, but Seth Curry could be. So there, I'll take the Portland side.
Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna quickly just go through the Portland side. I like Lillard. His price is up there, but I think that he can definitely have a good game, start the season off right. A guy I actually really like is Nurkic. We really don't have a guy that can guard Nurkic, and he's shown us in the past he can easily get 40 fantasy points on a night. Very good defensive player. He gets a ton of blocks, some steals. And we're going to run a small ball lineup, and we're going to have Kuzma trying to play a little bit of center. Kuzma can't guard Nurkic. He's going to be, gobbling up all the rebounds, some offensive rebounds. I think this is a solid spot for Nurkic. McCollum, 7,200. I think, he's definitely in play. You can look.
Hey, bro.
Yes, sir.
Not to cut you off, but I think in a one-on-one, like let's go in the gym, me against you situation, I think that Kyle Kuzma bitches Nurkic. But in a pick and roll 5-on-5 game situation, that's the thing that scares me about Kuzma. Not his athletic ability. What scares me is his ability to defend centers in the pick and roll game. It's just not a place he's played. That's what worries me. He's not Draymond Green. You know what I mean?
So you get what I'm saying about Nurkic then?
They don't have anybody. They don't have an experienced center that knows how to play pick and roll. And Lillard and McCollum like to play pick and roll. And he's very skilled, dude.
I think he's going to have a monster game tomorrow. He's one of my favorite plays at center, to be honest with you. I think he's a great pivot off of Embiid, and you can save some money. That's kind of where I'm at with him. And that I'm not really looking at nobody else outside of those three main players on their team. I definitely understand the Seth Curry play. It's all about minutes with him. I just kind of want to see what kind of minutes that he's going to get. And then going on the Lakers side of things, I mean, gotta love LeBron. He's going to play as much minutes as he has to get this dub tomorrow. Brandon Ingram, 6,800. He's a very fair price tag. He's a guy that can fill up the stat sheet. He's going to get his minutes. The problem is some of the Lakers, the minutes are not necessarily going to be there the way that we want them to. Rondo's going to start, but he's only going to play 23, 24 minutes because the Ball's going to get his minutes. You know what I mean?
We don't even know who's going to close games out yet. That's the thing. Like, that's the thing with the Lakers rotation, right? So you have Rondo, and you got this kid, Lonzo Ball. And that's kind of that, like, okay, you can start Rondo and then you could, bring Ball off the bench. But the whole thing with Julius Randle, when it went south, was Randle didn't mind coming off the bench. Randle wanted to be in there to close the game out. And that's going to be an interesting situation to see how that unfolds. You leave the veteran on the floor to close the game out, then what happens? It's going to be interesting to see. So I agree with you on the rotation. Wait and see. Hey, do you feel like it kind of feels like a grimy Michael Beasley game? Are you there with that?
I don't know, because I think this is going to be a close game. I think Michael Beasley is going to be – I don't know. When is he going to – I like Michael Beasley. I'm a Michael Beasley fan. 4,400. If you told me that Michael Beasley was going to play 20 minutes off the bench at 4,400, I would tell you sign me up. You know what I mean? I really like the guy. I played him a lot last year when he was with the Knicks. Um, but really quick, let me just get back to this quick rotation real quick. So this is like I said, LeBron's going to get his, Ingram's going to get his. After that, you got Rondo and Lonzo Ball fighting with each other for minutes, pretty much. You got that's at point guard. Shooting guard, we got Caldwell Pope and Josh Hart pretty much going to be battling with each other for minutes at that position. Both of these positions are pretty much going to split minutes. If somebody's having a better game than the other, they'll probably get a couple extra minutes. Kuzma, I think Kuzma's a guy that even though he's coming off the bench, you can look at him as a guy that's going to get minutes. I think he's going to get his 30 minutes for sure, even though he's coming off the bench. 6,600. Oh, no, he's actually 6,000. Sorry about that. I think he's a very good price. I think he's a really good player in this game. So me, and then, hey, it's funny because if you're going to say that it's a Michael Beasley game, then hey, you might as well say it's a Lance Stevenson's game. And they both got ejected in the same game against the Warriors at last preseason. Hey, them dudes, hey, they're just hood, bro. They're ballers, though. You know what I mean? So, yeah, hey, that's really where I'm at, bro. I mean, I really don't have much else. It's a 3-game slate. We took our time on it. I don't want to sit here and just bore people. You got any final thoughts on this slate before we get out of here?
Hey, if you're Lance Stevenson and you're flying to Portland, first road trip, right? Like first road trip of the season. I understand they travel in the preseason, but it's like the first serious road trip, right? Do you go sit behind LeBron and do the whole
right
blow in his ear one time? Like, hey, we're teammates now, and just blow in his ear.
Bro,
if you're like Stevenson, do you do that?
You get LeBron and Lance Stevenson just like cool now, bro. He's like, yeah, we boys now, like All right, bro. Well, hey guys. Hey, like I said, we're gonna try to do this video for you nightly. Come tune in, come have some fun with us. We'll get the slates, broken down early for you, so you can start thinking for the, about the slate that we got going. And if you haven't already, go check out our site at dfscheatsheet.com. Like I said, go check out our 7-day free trial at least, and just check out our optimizer, check out all of our different content pieces that we have. We got our player pool up now. We got our rankings, position by position, top 5 players. I rank them. Jeremy ranks them, so you can kind of see where both of us are at daily. Got a lot of really good tools that you can use every single day to build winning DFS lineups. And that's it. We'll be back tomorrow with our NBA picks in the morning. And hey, peace out.